This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review season 5 of Cobra Kai on Netflix. Plus, Keanu Reeves Constantine is getting a sequel. Warner Brothers Discovery still hasn't found their guy to run DC films, and they have bigger problems than that. And we may be waiting a while for the next Star Wars movie. Also, quick reactions to She-Hulk and House of the Dragon, and a lot more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, September 19th, 2022.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Why? I don't know.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up.
Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
Hey, what's up, listener? How's it going? Thanks for tuning in, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd Podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
And joining us, world-renowned sensei, flew in from his dojo. They call him the Chosen Rugs. We call him Rugsy-san, but we call him Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
Yeah, I wax off, but I never wax on.
Oh, never wax on the same
I'm always
day.
waxing off.
You know how exhausted I
Yeah.
am after the wax off part? I can't get to the wax on part.
Yeah, well, you have to put the wax on to get the wax off. I think. Is that how it works? I don't know.
Anthony would know. Anthony, do you paint up and down and then you wax off, or do you do the wax on and then you paint? I forget how it
He's a
goes.
young buck. He's probably... He's got plenty of wax.
I got nothing to add to this.
I'm just saying the
He's
stroke,
like, nothing I say is going to make me sound good.
your,
No, there's no good answer to that.
Yeah.
your stroke is important, and all the movement comes from the elbow. That's all.
That's right.
Not the wrist.
You have to practice every day.
Yes.
And practice your breathing. Always look eye. Remember,
Yeah. More about
Mr. Miyagi said it.
Look,
right.
yes, look,
Always look eye. Tell your son.
That's good advice. Words to live by. More karate talk later.
I wonder if Louis C.K. always look eye when he did his whack.
When he gets into it, when he's waxing on and off.
Yeah.
Apparently he does. You got to make eye contact. But first, let's dive into some geek news right now.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
I mean, I legit thought that's how you learn karate after watching that movie, and you could just be a karate master. Like,
Yeah, my dad tried to co-opt that, make me fucking do chores around the house.
cut the lawn, and you will learn how to do a flying kick. What? Okay, I'll do it. I don't know how this applies. Okay, let's start with some news here. Got a lot of Warner Brothers news this week.
From the nation?
Not from the nation. That's later.
Oh.
News from the Warner Brothers Discovery Nation. We've kind of been flip-flopping every week, right? The 1 week is all Warner Brothers news. Last week was all Marvel, Disney. This week, back Warner Brothers news. In a piece of news that I feel like we may have willed into existence, because a few weeks ago, we did our latest edition of What the Fuck Happened. It was episode 448 with the Ginger Geek, Matt Delhauer. And he had just randomly chosen the movie Constantine from 2005. What the Fuck Happened, of course, is where we take a big budget comic book movie that bombed, and Delhauer sarcastically recaps it, and we try to dive in to find out what the fuck happened. However, this time, though, it kind of backfired. Anthony, you were there, right? We watched this movie.
Of course. Well, I was there, yes.
You were there.
I was there.
But you were. That was our 18th What the Fuck Happened, and I think you've only been on like 5 of them. So
That's true.
usually
That's
it's
true.
Rug Boy. Rug Boy missed that one. I'll get to Rugs. But we watched it, and we were like, you know what? This movie's not bad. It turns out it was kind of, we kind of watched it and forgot about it. And I feel like Warner Brothers listens to the podcast because they just announced that they are bringing back Constantine for a sequel with Keanu Reeves, original director Francis Lawrence, who debuted his directing debut on this movie. Akiva Goldsman is writing the screenplay. J.J. Abrams is producing. Holy shit.
Oh, shit.
It's probably just a coincidence, but I feel like we made this happen.
That's awesome. Now they just have to hire Greg Weisman to be their Kevin Feige.
Oh, we'll get
Take
to
my
that.
advice.
Yeah, they still need a guy. But
Yeah.
Anthony, what do you think of this Constantine sequel? We were kind of hyped at the end. We were like, oh, I want to see more Keanu.
This is part of the ongoing Keanu sans.
It's still going.
It's still going. Keanu's still hot. And I think a lot of people have looked back at that movie and gone, not comic book accurate, but not a bad movie. Actually kind of fun. Interesting stuff in there. Creative direction. And Keanu's hot right now, so why not? So yeah, I think it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, I mean, it made $200 million back in 2005, and it's gone on to have a cult hit, and it has like diehard fans who have been asking for a sequel. Ruggs, you weren't on that episode. Do you remember Constantine 2005?
I do.
What's your take on this movie? What do you think about it?
Since I knew about Constantine and read like Hellblazer and stuff, I was disappointed.
Yeah.
About all the changes that they made. So that kind of tarnished my, because I don't even care if the movie's like great. If it's not comic accurate, I can't really give it 100 points or whatever. I'm always going to deduct points for that. So, but nonetheless, it was still an entertaining film, and I thought it was well done and pretty well directed. So, yeah, it's not a bad movie by that account. If you're just going in there blind, you don't know anything about Constantine,
right? Yeah,
you can enjoy yourself. I just don't think if you're a lifelong Constantine fan waiting for a Constantine movie, that's the movie that's gonna satisfy you.
Yeah, and that bugged me initially too when I first watched it, because of course, if you read the comics, Constantine has blonde hair and he's British, and it's not what they did with
his
Constantine.
Personality's different.
His personality's a little different. This, as a reimagining, though, I at the end of it, I was like, you know what? This is pretty. It's visually very impressive. You got Peter Stormare in a white suit as the devil. It's amazing. I walked in, I was like, this is actually a pretty decent movie. So I'm in on them bringing him back, because at the end we were like, we love Matt Ryan, right? He's done the TV Constantine, and he nails it. A follow-up story to this is they were developing a Constantine TV show and a Madam X TV show, I think with Matt Ryan, possibly. That's been canned, and they're putting out a movie. So this is more of David Zaslav over there, CEO, moving things from streaming to theatrical. But I'm kind of excited.
Before we get started.
Oh, that's the wrong button. I meant to press this one. I'm kind of excited to see Keanu return as this version of Constantine. What movie wasn't happening?
I gotta give it another spin, because I remember it being enjoyable, but I was like, man, so maybe I won't be so hung up on it now, because I'm so used to nothing being like the comics anymore, you know?
Right.
So
I mean, Tilda Swinton is in it for some reason, and you're like, what's Tilda Swinton doing in this? And she's good.
Yeah, wasn't she Gabriel?
Rachel Weisz is in it. Yeah, Gabriel. She's the Archangel Gabriel. Digimon Hansu is in it.
Oh, Digimon Hansu is in it too.
Digimon.
Yeah.
So if you go in, I don't have any connection to Constantine, so I watched the movie completely fresh and went, this is pretty good. I don't know why this was hated on.
And that's probably 90% of people who watched it felt the same way.
Right. Nobody really cares that he's not like Keanu, but fuck, I'll take Keanu all day and everything. Can't wait for the next John Wick. And I can't wait for, that's all we know is who knows when this is coming out, but man, that first movie being given new life is amazing. Listener,
you don't see that very often too, anyways, in the like movies that have been released in the 2000s.
Right.
Getting a sequel 17 years later, that doesn't happen very often.
So I think we're getting to the point where like the early 2000s stuff is now going to be
retro.
It's the
80s
It's now
now.
part of the 80s.
Yes.
So like, Generation Z, they think everything is the 80s.
Isn't that crazy? Like that's 17 years ago, almost 20 years ago. That's a whole generation. That's one generation.
Well, the early 2000s were a time of big budget movies, but everyone was trying everything.
Yeah.
There wasn't the formula. There wasn't the big universe. Everyone was just putting things out, hoping the name would draw it, but then having all these different directions on it and loose takes.
Yeah.
And
it was definitely
all sorts of different things.
The blockbuster era after Jurassic Park kind of like reinvigorated.
Yep.
What the fuck? The blockbuster thing where, Star Wars had it for a while, Indiana Jones had it for a while, and then all of a sudden, okay, now we're back into blockbusters. Like, because I think that like the Star Wars re-releases kind of jump-started that shit, and then they fucking just started putting out these big blockbusters every week. It was like a huge thing.
The prequels, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, starting in the late.
You also had Spider-Man came out in, was it 2002?
Yep, 2002, and X-Men.
That was 2000.
Oh, that's right.
They started spending mucho dinero on these films and like putting effects in and getting directors like that were like known for other shit. Like Ang Lee's directing the Hulk and shit, you know.
Yeah, it's the 2000s are going to be retro. Just
2000, just for reference. Yeah. The year 2000.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible. The highest ranked movie was How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh God, really?
Mission Impossible 2, Gladiator, Perfect Storm, Meet the Parents, X-Men.
Oh, Gladiator and Perfect Storm. I remember those, of course.
But yeah, the 2001, Harry Potter came out, and The Sorcerer's Stone, Shrek, Monsters, Inc., Rush Hour 2, The Mummy Returns, Pearl Harbor, Jurassic Park 3, Planet of the Apes, Hannibal, Lord of the Rings.
But it's full-on blockbusters right there.
2001, that's when it really...
Wow.
Yeah.
Here's another weird thing to think about. Like, in the 90s, they made that 70s show. If you made that show now, it would be about the 2000s. That's how crazy all of that is.
I mean, the early 2000s where people were wearing baggy clothes and...
Bare
all sorts of
midriffs.
things. Yeah, bare midriffs.
Sex
singing
was
about,
everywhere. Like the fun kind.
Teen girls were sexed up. You know, Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera.
Christina Aguilera's hair was all different colors. Yes.
This is when Imran was 42, so he doesn't find it nostalgic at all.
Baywatch was like the number one show on TV.
No, that was the 90s.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought the Carmen Electra years were in the 2000s.
Dude, the year 2000 for me was all about waiting for Spider-Man to come out and getting news
the
about
year
Spider-Man.
2000, you were underneath your desk thinking Y2K was going to happen.
I'm going to sell some water on the corner. It's Y2K safe water. I didn't freak out that much. You'd think I would have, but I mean, I was younger. I didn't care. I was like, oh, bring it on. Let's see the apocalypse. I'm down. Let's go. What's that?
2000s. Interesting time.
Yes.
Definitely a blockbustery time.
Yeah, we're going back with Constantine.
Lots of bad things happen.
Listener, let us know what you think about Constantine coming back, or do you prefer to pronounce it Constantine? I don't know. Either pronunciation is okay. Join our Facebook group, Jock and Nerd Nation. There's a link in the show notes. It is a closed, exclusive group just for you. Lots of fun geek things going on in there. Spoiler threads, geek news. Stay up to date in our Facebook group. Okay, moving on. More Warner Brothers news.
I also threw in another article in there.
I got that.
You want to look at that too?
Up. So we're going to start with an update. A couple weeks ago, we talked about how they were looking at Dan Lin, executive turned producer, to be the guy to head the DC Films vertical of this new Warner Brothers Discovery. They were talking to him. I felt good about it. I'd never heard of him. It seemed like it was a good deal. Well, Dan Lin is not the guy.
Oh,
he's out. They are still Dan Lin. Not what did I say?
Dan
Lin, not the guy. They still need a Kevin Feige. And Anthony, you've sent me this one article that I had read, and it was on my radar. And there's a lot of interesting things in here. The headline being from Variety: Warner Brothers Discovery has bigger problems than its DC search. What are some takeaways from this article, Anthony?
Yes. So first, obviously, they don't have Dan Lin, so they don't have they found it very difficult to find their own Kevin Feige, and you got Walter Hamada just sitting there as DC Films president, going,
he's like, "Hey,
am I chopped liver?
What am I doing over here?
What's going on?
I'm in the room, people."
Yeah. And a lot of people are obviously looking at this job as maybe a tougher job than and that no one really wants.
Oh yeah,
because the Warner Media Discovery is not spending as much on things either, and they're definitely trying to make money. But I think the biggest thing that I found in this article is there's a lot of speculation that they're setting themselves up to be bought out by NBC Universal.
Oh shit! Comcast, notably, that owns
NBC Universal, aka Peacock.
The cock.
And as one executive puts it on here, the cock sucks. So if they can get this content onto the cock, you might actually have another player in the streaming universe instead of having Peacock and HBO Max separated.
Is the cock that big? Is it a strong company?
You mean the streaming service? Probably not. I think a lot of people don't even.
Just the the brand in itself.
I mean, it has everything NBC on there, right?
NBC, Universal, and Comcast. Yeah,
and they finally started putting their first run shows once they air. Then they'll put it on the Cock, but the Cock is not great. I did watch this show called The Resort. It was okay. It had Christina Milioti in there. Well, like,
I got some info on the Cock. You want to hear it?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me all about your Cock.
Tell me about the Cock.
The Cock ended Q2 with 27 million active users, of which 13 million were paid subscribers.
Okay, half of that.
That's 1 million. They actually lost 1 million quarter over quarter. 20% of the subs use ad-free version.
Yeah.
The streamer lost $467 million, and parent company Comcast advised that the Cock will continue to post a loss for the remainder of the year, and then that's it. So in comparison, HBO Max Discovery has 92.1 million subscribers. Disney at the end of Q2 had 152 million subscribers. Netflix lost 970,000, but they're still at $220.7 million. The other one is Paramount. They have 43 million subscribers. So the Cock is clearly the lowest.
Yeah, Disney, if you add Hulu and ESPN, that brings them close to Netflix's 220 million.
With Hulu, they have Hulu's another 46 million, and I don't have the ESPN, but yeah, if you actually add all three up, they have more than Netflix.
They actually, which is crazy that because Netflix was always the leader with this 220 million. So is Zaslav's move to just get it into a spot where they're not losing money and then fucking sell it? That would be crazy because you have Disney who just merged with Fox, absorbed with Fox, became giant, and now you'll have Comcast that will have NBC.
Yeah, they'd have to work through the antitrust stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's potentially where this is going.
So I think I saw the series The Offer.
Yeah.
Which is about the Godfather being made.
Yeah.
And I think Paramount was in a similar situation. They were trying to prop themselves up to be profitable so they could sell it off.
Oh.
It was owned by some conglomerate, right?
Yeah.
And then
Paramount's owned by, I think it's Paramount is the conglomerate, but you might be wrong there. Keep going.
No. It was owned by some other thing at the time of The Godfather.
Gotcha.
It was owned by something else. And then they were trying to sell it off to another company. And then they got so much bad press for doing The Godfather and like dealing with the mafia that like it tanked their stock. And they're like, we can't sell it now because we won't make any money. So they had to wait for The Godfather to come out, and then they decided to stick with it for a while, I guess. But like, yeah, they need to like basically do the same thing. They need something to hit so the value goes up, and then they could sell it and make a profit. And
what it looks like they're doing is instead just not spending as much, keep cutting things. So
yeah,
we'll see. It's interesting. I mean, I think that'd be a huge merger. I think these mergers are kind of inevitable because, as we've discussed before, there's too many streamers. So I think these mergers will be inevitable, and we'll only have like 2 to 3, 2 to 3, 4 maybe big ones, and then the rest.
But then,
I think 4 is all you need.
But you end up having like just 4 major studios then that are just making movies, right? With all these sub studios, which is kind of crazy.
Like there's a lot out there right now.
This other article you sent me, Anthony, there's another way that Zaslav can make some money for Warner Brothers, who traditionally, they have their streaming service, HBO Max. They would keep all their IP and not license it out, put it on their streaming service. But now,
I mean, as you guys have been talking about. By the way, there's a dog barking in the background. Sorry. Rings of Power, is part of Lord of the Rings, and that's owned by Warner Brothers. Yet, Amazon, it's on Amazon for some reason because they've licensed that content out to Amazon, and they see benefit in having their properties licensed out to other studios and making a little bit of money off that, getting a little exposure. They think by doing that, they get a little exposure because people are going to want to watch, the Lord of the Rings on their place, on their streamer, and part of this article that I sent you is they're even looking at shopping Batman.
Oh my God, shopping Batman, the whole IP around to streamers. Whoa.
Batman the Crusader was originally planned for HBO
cartoon.
Max.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
But they're in this article, it looks like Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu are the contenders for getting Batman Cape Crusader on their platform.
I hope somebody picks that up. I really want to see that. But yeah, right now, think about it. It's weird. You have to go to Amazon to watch this Lord of the Rings prequel that they paid millions, hundreds of millions of dollars for. But if you want to watch Lord of the Rings, you got to go to HBO Max to watch Lord of the Rings.
I think if they do get someone in there to right the ship, then this stuff becomes a non-issue. But since they don't have anyone in there to like, hey, this is the direction we're going to go with our IP, they're just like, oh, we're just going to fucking license it out.
Also, fun fact, I've looked at how Amazon Prime does in terms of, or not does, but what they're measuring success as. And they're the only streamer that doesn't measure success necessarily in views. They look at it as incorporating people into their universe of Amazon.
Okay.
It's another benefit to being a Prime member.
Right.
So you're a Prime member, you get the free delivery, you also get music, you get TV, you get storage space, you get all these different things. So they look at it more as
it's a bundle,
just another benefit, a bundle of things you get.
I mean, that's true. That's not their main, strategy.
Right. Whereas all these other streamers are looking at it as they need the views.
Yeah.
So just a little different mindset with Amazon.
I mean, and this is, Warner Brothers thinking this way is a huge change. In that other article, it does mention that people who were around before with Jason Keeler and AT&T, they say it's been a vast improvement, of the moves that this guy's making. But I think he's going to open up the doors. Like, it says in here, open for business, either sell off the whole thing or start licensing things out, which could be crazy because then you could see other studios using DC characters.
The elephant in the room is if it's up for sale in 2024.
Yeah.
Does Disney buy it?
Oh shit! Disney could step in because I believe
then you would just have Marvel and DC all under one universe.
Because I believe when they were trying to buy Fox, Comcast was the other big heavy that they were trying to outbid. It came down to those two that had enough money. And Comcast, if you look at what are they worth? Anthony, look that up. They're fucking huge. Like I believe it's like in the trillions, possibly.
I'll look it up.
Back to the job of being the DC guy. I love this quote from this other article. It says, quote, Zaslav doesn't know what he doesn't know. That's scary, and you're always going to be compared to Marvel. It's unfair. By the time they were being judged, it was working. It's the exact opposite at Warner. It's rough all around. Who the fuck would want that job? That's what I was saying. It's like, this is a fucking tough job to be the DC guy.
Comcast in revenue did $116 billion in 2021.
Holy shit, $116 billion.
That's it?
just a drop it in the bucket.
No, Jesus.
$116 billion.
They're a big company, dude.
No big deal.
For comparison, Disney did $67.4 billion.
See, yeah. That's quite a big jump over Disney.
Yeah.
I mean, Disney's huge, but like Comcast and Apple are like bigger. So Apple's got a lot of money too. People don't realize.
People don't realize. Of course they realize.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they realize it, but like again, they're low key with their streaming service, but their market worth is
Apple.
Huge.
You want to know what they did in 2021?
Yeah,
$365 billion.
300. Holy shit! Holy.
Well, these have all been billions.
Yeah, but like tripling fucking Comcast. I thought that was a big number.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, they make all the devices.
Want to hear Amazon?
Yeah. What do they make?
$469 billion.
Get the fuck out! Really?
Yeah.
They must have
These
been
numbers just keep going up.
Dick.
Holy shit! Amazon has the biggest dick. That must have been the biggest. Fucking Bezos.
And Peacock's got the smallest dick.
cock
Isn't that weird?
I know.
Yeah. Well, they're 116. They make more than Disney.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, they make 100 million more than Disney. 116 billion.
Yeah.
Disney does 60 something billion.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that deal, like you said, can't happen until April 2024. So we'll see the moves he makes. He's putting
Netflix 29.7 billion.
That's it.
They're the lowest right now of the ones I've looked up. Just a cool 29 billion.
It's nothing.
They didn't make
that's
just
ass
revenue.
with that. Yeah.
Nothing. Wait, the question I had about the Constantine is: does it matter if like he is in the DCEU or it's a separate thing? That's
no,
be
it doesn't matter.
Right?
This one, no.
Okay.
The Keanu one, no.
It's like its own thing. That's what they like. That's what they're doing.
It's pointless to even try and do that.
So then it actually works in their favor. Okay, we cannot. Anytime we talk about Warner Brothers, we can't close out without talking about Ezra Miller. Of course, you know that was coming. It's going to happen. When last we checked in, the Ezra Miller apparently visited Warner Brothers and said they were getting therapy and they were working on it. the fact that they were going to possibly cancel The Flash being one of the options. Absolutely a wake-up call, I think, for the Ezra Miller. But there's this amazing article out from Vanity Fair that you should check out. It's quite in-depth. It's very long. It's well-written. It documents everything. There's a couple of interesting things in here that I thought give you some more insight into the Ezra Miller. This one line goes, since 2020, the actor has been accused of crimes and abuses spanning 6,000 miles and 2 oceans. So that's the extent of his rampage. So here's another quote I pulled off of this article. It says, 3 people say Miller has also wrapped the superhero they play into their grandiose speechifying. The actor, says one source, was, quote, claiming that the Flash is the one who brings the multiverse together just like Jesus. So people are saying he's got a little bit of a messiah complex here, that he's comparing himself to Jesus and the devil. This other quote from one person, that Vanity Fair talked to a bunch of people who have been hanging around his Vermont farm and have interactions with him in the last few years. This one says, quote, Ezra is Jesus and Tokata, this Tokata Iron Eyes, the girl that he was allegedly grooming. Ezra is Jesus and Tokata's an apocalyptic Native American spider goddess, and their union is supposed to bring about the apocalypse. And that's the real reason everyone is so opposed to them being together.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you don't want to bring the apocalypse together. You got to keep them apart. This is what the Ezra Miller means. Also, the article kind of implies that like he just said he's getting therapy and maybe he's not going to really be that serious about therapy. And the funniest thing is all of these articles end with the same line, which is The Flash is currently set to arrive in theaters on June 23rd, 2023. Like, this movie is still coming out, which is amazing. I don't know. I don't know what comment on any of this. Have you guys heard any of this? There's really not much to talk about. I just wanted to fill everybody in on what's going on with the Ezra Miller.
This is none of this is surprising. Let's just hope they can keep their shit together until this movie comes out.
Oh my God. There's still a long.
That's really all it is. That's really all that we're just playing. We're just sitting on pins and needles, waiting until this guy or girl or whatever the hell he wants to be called. I'm done trying to figure out what they should be called. They just gotta wait. We just gotta wait it out and cross their fingers and provide them all the support they need until then. And then once the movie comes out, you just wash your hands of it.
The only grooming they should be doing is someone's hair. That's it. That's it. Just blow dry someone. Do some blowouts.
I mean, also the article.
Stop with the other kind of grooming.
The article mentions his parents recently got divorced in 2019, and that's kind of where some of these.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, he was unable to deal with his parents' divorce in 2019, and this is where a lot of these incidents started after that.
Oh my God, please.
So, yeah. There's also details about his farm in Vermont where he's growing marijuana and there's guns around and he's trying to start a cult. And honestly, it sounds kind of fun. I would go visit. I kind of want to smoke some Ezra.
Weed and guns.
Weed and guns.
They go together really well.
Babies with bullets in their mouths, just playing with bullets. Some amazing stories.
It's just a big mess. That's all it is. At the end of the day, it's like every time that they get done with this, there's always some other shit coming out.
If he put out a strain of marijuana, I would totally buy it. I would buy his cannabis.
Definitely would. You want to have delusions of grandeur yes, like this guy.
This strain of sativa will make you think you're a cult leader.
Oh, shit.
Check it out. Smoke it. Absolutely. Sign me up. Where do I buy Ezra Miller sativa?
He was really good, or they were really good in whatchamacallit? Confessions of a Wallflower?
Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Perks of Being a Flower, yeah.
That's what I heard.
And then there's another movie that they're in that was pretty good that I haven't seen, where he plays like a...
We need to talk about...
abusive kid or something.
Yeah, we need to talk about somebody.
He's played a lot of these characters who have these issues, right? I wonder how much of it is just him pulling from himself. But other people have said he's been nothing but professional on set and been nice and normal.
So. I have a theory that a lot of actors are kind of nuts.
Yeah, Cara Delevingne has been having some breakdowns. I saw something about she's walking around the airport without shoes on.
I mean, to revolve your life around
pretending
pretending to be someone else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's that can put you in a weird mental space.
Yeah, it makes you a genius actor.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Like there's a little bit of
then you throw in fame and glory and money, and
that can rock you if you don't know what to expect all of a sudden, right? You don't know how to handle yourself. You're young. You got
and he was probably picked as a young. He was acting at a young age, or they were acting at a young age. Not to make excuses for him, just saying.
Well, at the same time, you have somebody like Timothy Chalamet, right? Who's also like a new up and comer.
He hasn't broken down yet.
He hasn't broken down, but I read this. There was an article where he said Leonardo DiCaprio gave him 2 pieces of advice for acting. He said, no hard drugs.
And don't date any girls under 25 years old.
Well, no, he should have told him that. It wasn't that. It was actually no.
You ever see that? You ever see that in the internet?
No, what is that?
Memes. Leo only dates girls that are under 25 years old, even to this day.
I mean, he should probably find someone age appropriate. The dude is in his 50s now. I don't know. I guess
he's not. He's like 48 or something.
And why should he find someone age appropriate? You say that at your age.
I know.
You're not Leonardo DiCaprio.
And the other way around is great too. Like,
what's age appropriate for someone who's like 48?
I want to hear Imran's answer.
Let's see. 35? I don't know. 30?
All right. What was the advice? I'm sorry I cut you off.
The advice was no hard drugs and no superhero movies. Leonardo DiCaprio told Timothy Chalamet
interesting.
to succeed in your career. And I was like, okay. I don't know about the superhero movies. The no hard drugs is obvious. But, the
first one's very obvious.
Yeah. So I feel like DiCaprio will never join a Marvel thing.
No, he's his own universe. He doesn't need to do it.
I mean, he's got Scorsese.
If he would only need to do it if it was his own personal passion.
He had his own posse.
He did.
Yeah.
When they were young.
I mean, check out his list of women that he's been with.
Oh, yeah. We went over that.
Yeah. He's amazing. I love Leo.
Leo is great.
And when I was growing up, I hated Leo just because he was like the teen heartthrob and everyone loved him.
Yep.
All the girls loved him and no one paid attention to me.
Yeah.
And then all the girls were watching Titanic over and over. And then they went to see the island?
No, not the island.
The beach.
Yeah.
The beach. And they were horrified at what they'd seen because it wasn't Titanic. And I laughed at that. But yeah. But to go from teen heartthrob to just one of the greatest actors of our generation.
Actor. I remember him. I used to watch Growing Pains when it first run, and I remember when he joined.
Yeah, he was the added kid on that show.
Yeah, he was the cousin Oliver of the Growing Pains. They brought him in, and I was like, "Who's this fucking kid?" And then you just see him blow up, and he's phenomenal talent. So,
who is he top? What, top 5 of our generation, of this generation? Top 3?
Probably
top 1?
of this generation? Yeah, the guys at his age. Absolutely.
So him, what, Denzel?
I think is even older, though, bro.
Yeah, Denzel's older.
The next generation.
Ed Norton used to be really good, but he just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Ed Norton would have been in that generation. Maybe your Jake Gyllenhaal.
Tom Cruise? Tom Cruise is now doing his own. Tom Cruise is now on his box office run.
Cruise is also next gen. He's 60. Like that's older too. Talking about guys who are late 40s.
Yeah. Guys that are Imran's age.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah,
Jake Matt
Gyllenhaal.
Damon.
Yeah, Damon. Yep.
Oh, yeah, you're
Ben
right.
Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
Jude Law.
Yeah. You're right.
All those guys.
But he's bigger. Leo's bigger than all those guys.
Leo,
Tobey Maguire.
Leo got to Scorsese movies, right? That's really what you always aim to do. That's when you're like, all right, I made it. I'm fucking in Martin Scorsese movies. So
he's just great. He's great.
He's good. And occasionally now I think it'll be funny because his romantic interest is going to be age appropriate on these movies, which it kind of was in that Don't Look Up. He had an age appropriate wife and family. It was just a normal, middle-aged dude. It was just weird. It's funny.
Let me just name the movies he's done since 2010.
Okay.
Shutter Island.
Great movie.
Hubble. Inception, J. Edgar, Django Unchained, Great Gatsby, Wolf of Wall Street, Revenant, Audition, Before the Flood, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Ice on Fire, Don't Look Up.
I mean, lots of solid movies.
That's
Lots
fucking great.
Yeah.
And that's in his, now he's in his 40s.
Yeah.
That's a great run.
He picks good projects.
He picks good projects, yeah.
Okay, before we get to the last thing in
I'm
the
done
news,
with my Leo love fest.
Leo's great. I mean, he's
great.
adorable in the 90s. And
he goes from Jean-Claude Van Damme to Leo.
Look at
I love both. I wish I had both.
for different reasons. I can see that.
Same reasons.
Check out our TeePublic Shop listener if you want to buy a t-shirt or a hoodie or a coffee mug or a cell phone case with our logo with Rug Boy's face. Lots of fun things going on over there. jockandnerd.com/shop will take you right there. Okay, last thing in the news, Andor will be premiering the day this show posts. Wednesday, September 21st on the Disney Plus. They are putting out the first 3 episodes, which is great. I love when they put out more than one episode. I think a lot
Are you making us watch this?
Yes, I'm going to make us watch the first 3 episodes because here's why. Early reactions have been good with a caveat that it perhaps starts slow in the first 2 episodes, but by 3 it picks up and 4. But what I've heard from people is that this is amazing and it's going to be as good as fucking Mandalorian. Tony Gilroy just put out an interview saying there is no fan service in Andor, which I love. Like, everything is going to be about the story. We'll serve the story. No forced fan service. But you've seen the trailers. You're going to see Saw Gerrera, fucking Forrest Whitaker, Mon Mothma, lots of fucking puppets. And it looks like gritty and hardcore, and it looks great. Ruggs, are you excited about this? Even though I don't know how the buzz is. There's not really.
I'm not
buzz.
excited, but I'm going to watch it because I heard it's good. So am I excited? I mean, I hear a lot of things are good, and then I watch them like that sucks. So I will. Hopefully, I'm looking to be pleasantly surprised, to be, all of a sudden, oh, this is fucking good, because I have no interest in this story at all, but. I'll tell you what, the trailers look pretty serious. It looks like it's grounded, so that's good. And so if it's like Rogue One and it's grounded and it has some good characters besides Andor, I'll probably latch onto it.
I think
it's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars, and I think they need something like this after Boba Fett and Obi-Wan. So, Anthony, I think this will be something that after those, the bar that's set, this is probably going to just be a lot better because Boba Fett was whatever. Obi-Wan, it's fun, questionable. I know you didn't enjoy those, so.
Yeah, I'm already not looking forward to this, and if I watch these first 3 episodes and I'm not hooked, there's a chance I might not watch the rest of it. And you guys just do the review on your own.
Fair enough. I want to see if these 3 will get you hooked. It may be that, they're not, again, the shooting on location. It looks epic and big in scale.
Do you think it's bad that, like, a lot of people, and not just Anthony, are, like, bailing on a lot of these new series that are coming out on the streamers?
You mean Star Wars series or
like
series
Miss Marvel, like especially on Disney, like Miss Marvel, people checked out on that.
I feel like She-Hulk, same thing is happening, right?
People dumped out of that one. Now with Boba Fett, people are like, "What the fuck is this?" And some people finished Obi-Wan because Darth Vader was in it, but. It's kind of like a shaky ground right now.
I
think there's a lot to watch. Now you have House of Dragon and Rings of Power. And
there's just a lot.
Yeah, you got actually good shit on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you got people putting out heavy hitters and actually trying.
The future of Star Wars is like really weird right now. I think it works great.
So weird.
It works great on TV when it's done well, like Mandalorian, hopefully Andor. If you are waiting for a Star Wars movie, listener, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer as Disney updated its release calendar and they have removed Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron from their schedule entirely.
Oh, shit.
The original plan was, remember, they were going to sandwich Star Wars films between Avatar sequels. So this year, we're going to Avatar 2. Next year was going to be a Star Wars movie, then Avatar 3, then a Star Wars movie. The next Star Wars movie won't be out until 2025, and I don't even know what fucking movie it's going to be, because Taika Waititi's working on a thing. Kevin Feige has a Star Wars movie. Rian Johnson's trilogy may or may not still be alive. Who the fuck knows? Their movie fucking landscape is a mess right now. I don't even know what I want to see from Star Wars movies. I am digging the TV shows. I think it just works better on TV. I don't know right now.
Who knows? Like, I'm looking forward to a few things. Like when they showed those, like, the Star Wars preview on the D23 with those short animation things. I'm like into that.
Yeah, Tales of the Jedi is coming out. Yeah,
I feel like those are always good, and they're short, and you don't have to fucking commit to it, and you could just get a good story dump there, and that's great. But a lot of these things, it's like these long commitments to shit that you don't even know what you're getting into. Like with Boba Fett, we all thought we're going to get a different show.
Yeah. Yes.
So, and they keep flipping the script on it. And so it's weird that you're going to try and make this commitment to a show. And then it's like not really what you bargained for.
I mean, the Mando saved that show. Really. Those were my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Just the ones that didn't have Boba Fett in them.
Wow.
Which is, that's not what you want people walking away from. So
it wasn't like really terrible, but it was just not the show that we wanted. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a good time to be into Star Wars and also kind of a weird time, but I love
the future is uncertain.
I love Rogue One, and if Tony Gilroy can bring that same aesthetic of this war, kind of like on the battlefield war, rebellion, spy thriller to Andor, I'm in. So we'll see. We'll have our review next week. Let's take a break here. We'll play some promos, and we're going to come back and talk about the best karate TV show that's ever existed. Right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What's up, Jock and Nerd Nation? This is Logan at Mostly Superheroes, a podcast that was partly inspired by the Jock and Nerd podcast. We talk about a lot of the same stuff, MCU, DC heavy, with other content that comes out of HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and more. We're committing to doing something new every day in 2021, so come join the fun, check out the schedule. Find us at mostlysuperheroes.com and enjoy the rest of the show.
Hey there, everyone. Brian here, host of TV Trivia Pod. It's a trivia-style podcast focusing on TV and movies. Listen in for questions like, what's the name of Michael Scott's screenplay? What do you say to view the Marauders map? And what's everyone eating in the post-credit scene of Avengers? Play along to TV Trivia Pod anywhere you get podcasts. And stay tuned for more trivia.
And Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show, you should join our fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd. You can support the show on a monthly or annual basis and get benefits, get fun stuff. You get an access to an exclusive podcast feed with bonus content. The shows come out early. There's instant reactions, lots of hours of bonus material on that feed. We also do a monthly hangout on Discord, and you get access to the Patreon-only server. This month, it's this week, it's tomorrow as the show posts, Thursday, September 22nd, 8 p.m. Central Time. I will be there. Ruggs, unfortunately, is busy. Anthony may show up. Probably not. We'll see what happens. But come on, hang out.
Let's see what happens.
I'll fill you guys in. It's a lot of fun always to hang out for, it's like 2 hours casual geek talk. And there's a You Pick It tier where you can force us to watch and review any movie you want. And we did a couple of those the past few weeks. We will do more. But this week, that's it all at Patreon, right? jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Let's get to this week's review. It is season 5 of Cobra Kai on Netflix. Here's your spoiler.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
And this seems very soon from the last season, which came out was like New Year's Day, right? Remember, it was the end of the year.
Yeah,
that's right.
2021, right? Less than a year, we get another season. Anthony, can you fill us in? Where did we leave off at the end of season 4 of Cobra Kai?
Oh, man. Season 4 ended with another All-Valley tournament.
Of course.
What's Peyton List's character's name?
Tori.
Tori wins the All-Valley against Sam.
That's right.
Yeah.
But we find out that Silver paid off the ref, and she finds out that out as well. Sam is disappointed because not only did she lose, but Miguel decided to leave in the midst of the tournament and not support her and forfeited his match because he wants to go find his daddy in Mexico.
Yeah.
And Hawk wins the All-Valley for Team Miyagi-Do Eagle Fang for the men, beating Robbie. But Miyagi-Do overall lost the tournament because of the loss that Sam had against Tori. So Miyagi-Do has to shut down. Cobra Kai is reigning supreme. And that's where we're at starting this episode because... Oh, and also, what's his name?
Terry Silver.
Put a framed crease and put him in jail. So Silver is now the head of Cobra Kai, and he is looking for world domination with Cobra Kai heading into this season.
Let's not forget, Terry Silver beat the shit out of Stingray and then made Stingray tell the cops that it was Kreese. The guy who beat you up. That's amazing, right? Just so he could be involved. And yeah.
One more thing, Robbie and Johnny have kind of mended the fences and are going to try to be father and son heading into this season.
But Cobra Kai at the height of its power opening up this season. We'll dive into some fun things we liked of the season. But Anthony, overall, what did you think of season 5? Does this show still deliver Karate Kid goodness?
Yeah, I think overall it's a very solid season of the show. It still has a lot of fun things in a very ridiculous situation. At the end of the day, we're talking about karate in the valley.
Yes.
And everyone discusses this like it's life or death.
Yes.
And
it's amazing.
It's as if they discussed winning the valley and Silver taking over as if it's Trump running for presidency. Yeah. It's this important. So it is fun. I will say that this season, I think, wasn't as entertaining as some of the past seasons. I liked it a lot, but I didn't find it. I find it to be running out of a little bit of steam. I felt like Johnny got sidelined a little bit, and a lot of the kids stuff got a little sidelined. Now everyone's kind of on the same team, which is what you've been rooting for, but it also reduces the amount of conflict, and now it's just a battle of good versus evil.
Yeah,
which was okay. This season was really more focused on Danny LaRusso getting over his fear of Silver from Karate Kid Part 3, which, although those characters have been reinvigorated, that's still a shit movie. So we're tying a lot of this stuff to the worst movie and one of the worst movies in the franchise. But again, I really like the show overall. I'm not saying it's a bad season. I'm just saying I don't know how much steam they have left. The MVP of the season for me is Chosen. He's great.
Chosen's fantastic.
Never would have thought I'd wanted to see Chosen, Johnny Lawrence, Danny LaRusso teaming up, and then at the end, even Karate's bad boy, Mike Barnes, jumping in high on PCP or whatever the fuck's going on in his head.
Oh, my God.
I never thought I'd want to see all the villains team up with Danny LaRusso.
That was amazing.
But they do, and it's glorious. It's fun.
The villains of the 3 Karate Kid movies team up to fucking take down Terry Silver. It's fucking amazing.
So there you go.
Okay, Ruggs, how'd you feel walking away from this season? Any favorite moments?
Well, I think one of the best moments is when they're all at the dealership and they're looking at the map that's glowing and they're like talking about like Silver taking over the fucking world. Yeah. I'm like, what are we watching here? And then somebody opens the door. It's like, are you guys selling cars or what? Like, what the fuck is going on in here? And I'm like, yes, that's what every person who's watching the show is going, who gives a shit if he's teaching people to be assholes? I'm like, we got every freaking, everything in the world teaches people to be assholes. Why do you care? But yeah, it's, this is why we have this, show. Cause Terry Silver is actually great in this show.
Oh my God. He is like Darth fucking Vader in this season. Manipulating things, pushing Danny to make him look bad so that he reacts out of frustration and making him seem crazy. That was some fucking top-notch manipulation.
The cringiest thing that happened in this show was the bar fight with the women.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, where does this coming from? Like, this girl just all of a sudden just who start shit at a bar like that? Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Although that was the return of that character from Karate Kid Part 3. What's her name?
Jessica Andrews. Robin Lively as Jessica Andrews, who was also in Teen Witch that year, 1989. She's in Karate Kid 3 and Teen Witch. And I remember Teen Witch. I think I had a little crush on her. I was like, was there
some bitch in Karate Kid Part 3 that was trying to fuck with her?
Yes. No. There was a bully girl mentioned apparently in 3, and that was the girl.
Oh. Okay.
And then they also reference like Amanda smashing the dude's car, which is her backstory. But that was just to pull in Mike Barnes and fucking Jessica Andrews from Karate Kid 3 is crazy.
Well, what's funny about Karate Kid 3, besides the fact that it sucks, is Jessica Andrews, Robin Lively.
Yeah.
She's introduced as his new love interest, but then she just kind of...
They're just friends.
2/3 of the way of the movie, she just disappears.
Yeah.
and you never see her again. And it's just like, well, what was the point of having her in this movie? I didn't even realize that they brought her back. I didn't realize it was that character until I took a second. I'm like, wait a minute.
That girl looks familiar. Yeah.
That's the redhead.
Yeah.
I'm going to look this up, and it was her.
The fucking redhead. I enjoyed this season. It's, again, the show is a breezy watch. It's like half-hour episodes, easy to watch. It was so soap opera over the top that I was just fucking laughing.
Yeah,
And,
I laughed.
You know what? But it works. Like, it's so dead serious in this Miyagi-verse universe, but it totally works. And just how a lot of the relationships were mended, a lot of the beefs were squashed, people got together, and then you had like the massive team up. Everybody is on one side, taking down fucking Terry Silver like he's Darth Vader.
And I also thought like some of the plot points were like really weak. Like I thought that the kids going into Cobra Kai to get the footage, I'm like, he doesn't have the footage like that. But
security camera footage, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so why would he also keep the footage of him admitting like he's supposed to be on top of his game about all this stuff,
Yeah,
right?
you'd think he would have deleted that. But yeah, it's a convoluted fucking plan.
Wait a minute, how did you get the footage? Oh, the footage of that is her talking to
where he tells her that he paid the ref off.
Miguel's little excursion to Mexico, you just go, do we really even need that?
Okay, let's talk about that because yes, at the end of the day, it was entirely pointless. But we
need to see Miguel crying at least 3 times.
I love that he's looking for someone named Hector Salazar.
How does he just find Hector Salazar in the middle of Mexico in like a street fair or a farmer's market? He doesn't even do a ton of investigative research. He's just going, I'm looking for a Hector Salazar, and then finds one. I'd imagine Hector Salazar is as common a name as what, like Bill Smith,
Mike Smith,
in America.
Yeah. Doesn't he find 2 Hector Salazars? Like he finds one and that's not his dad, and then and then I just love how it's so cheesy. Like you think Hector is a good family man and he's a good guy, and then all of a sudden, one little fight with Johnny and Robbie wearing FBI female body inspector t-shirts. Hilarious. One little fight and he's drinking. He pulls his gun out and Miguel's like, "Oh shit, my mom was right." Okay.
I don't want any more chicharron. I'm out.
Yes, I'm out. I mean, I did love it. Gave Johnny opportunity to kick a surfboard in half. That was epic. And that one surfer, that was Kano from Mortal Kombat. Did you guys catch that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, the guy with the long blonde hair and the beard was the guy who played Kano from Mortal Kombat. But this brings Johnny and Miguel together. And now, I also kind of love how Miguel and Robbie, he made them fight out their fucking beef. And and that was nice. I almost kicked him over the railing, but then he stopped.
It worked for me. I've been wanting to see the characters kind of just have a conversation and talk this stuff out, so I wasn't mad about it. I wasn't mad that they all came together. It just it made the show a little bit more one note in terms of, okay, we really know what the conflict is. Like every season prior to this, you kind of have been on the you've rooted for both sides,
right?
And this season, they make it pretty clear that Silver's side, other than the little kid Kenny, there's nothing really redeemable about those people.
No, I mean he flies in like ninjas from Asia, right? All these the one dude has an eye patch. Why? And then that's Tyron Woodley, Anthony.
Tyron Woodley,
right? And the other dude was also a UFC fighter, I believe.
There was another MMA fight or a boxer in the Mexico scene.
Oh, really? Yeah. So. I mean, I thought some of the karate looked better. What did you think of how the karate looked?
It was fine. I mean, we already we've seen it. It's basically this, just a little more revised, a little tighter than it was last season. They shot it so Sam looked like she could do karate a little bit better.
Yeah, she's still my least favorite character out of the whole thing.
Yeah, she still sucks. Yeah. But I think. If they're moving in a direction where they're wrapping things up, it's okay that like everybody's on the same side, and they absolutely have to end with this Kreese thing. Like Kreese breaking out of jail, I was like, oh
my god,
all right, my god, this is so like improbable. Like the fucking guy like puts the fucking he tastes it. Like who tastes?
He's like,
blood?
This isn't blood, it's jello. Like, how does this old man beat up 2 fucking guards and just walk out of prison? Also, was my other question.
Well, that's been. Well, he's had karate skills that have been.
That's true.
Very strange at his age.
Yes.
For the entire show.
Yeah, he even mentions that he got thrown through a glass window and not had a scratch on it. Like he says it. Like when he's talking to the shrink, I think.
I did think there were 2 scenes in that beginning of that last episode where I went, "Oh, is this show?" Or 3 actually. I was like, "Is this show?" It felt odd. I almost didn't like it. You had him get shanked in the beginning. And I'm like, are they starting this off with a death like that?
Yeah.
I thought that was strange. Then I thought when they potentially killed Chosen, I was like, is this show?
Yeah.
And then they cut off Tyron Woodley's fingers, and I'm going, what the fuck? Like, it was almost a step too far, but then both of those guys survived. I thought the Tyron Woodley getting his fingers cut off was a little like a step too far for the show.
That and I'm like, this is a show where a dude burns down another man's furniture store over karate dojos. I was like,
fine.
Really? That's fine? I was like,
fine.
That I thought was the most extreme thing anybody's done on the show. I was like, holy shit, he burned down the fucking store. This guy is a fucking problem. But yeah, then it gets a little.
Yeah, and Chosen beats up all the guys that work for him and everything. Like,
dude, I love.
Like, it was just there was some fucking shenanigans going on in this fucking season.
No, but from the beginning, I love Chosen going undercover and how badass he is, and like he flies in to beat up Mike Barnes when it was a misunderstanding. But Chosen, between that and him dancing and his drunken phone call to Kumiko, was fantastic.
Yeah, him dancing was good.
Him dancing was great.
Them singing the fucking Eye of the Tiger was great.
Oh, that was also
so good.
One of my favorite things is like when the fucking karate like judge, he's like they're showing him the watermelon kicks. He's like, "Yeah, you wanted to run to the top of the mob and say, I think I love Rocky."
There was so many Rocky
they bond over Rocky IV.
Yes.
Yeah.
But their training was like great. Rocky IV, right? One side, Cobra Kai's all high tech, and meanwhile, these guys are all low tech, just like a Rocky IV.
No, that was good.
It's good Rocky IV.
That was good. I mean, just, classic 80s throwbacks. Yeah. I love.
And then they did, if I can change, you can change.
Yes, that's that line. It's just great.
I loved when Johnny Lawrence gets served a White Claw, and he goes, tastes like watermelon, took a piss.
He likes them. He's like, these are great.
He's like, this sounds White Claw. That sounds badass.
Badass. Eagle Fang and White Claw.
Him being an Uber driver and just always being late, delivering the wrong food, and having beer in the back seat. When he pulls out his dick to take a piss while he's driving and someone in an Uber, I'm like, this is great.
Smells like beer because there was beer, asshole.
You need more of that.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's the thing. I felt that was one of the things. I felt like Johnny's character was a little. He didn't have really a ton to do.
Yeah,
like he has to grow up at some point, right? But
I mean, they gave him the kid thing, so he's starting to grow up. But they're taking away the things that make him a little.
Right.
I get the Eric evolution. I love putting Johnny in a capsule where he's a man out of time in 2020, acting like he's from the 80s.
I mean, he's evolving. Him and Danny even are like friends now. They put their differences aside. Like everybody has put all their shit aside.
Well, that's what this whole season's about.
Yeah.
It's about moving forward. You can't live in the past. You have to move forward and get onto new things and see what's in front of you. They say it a few times in the show as well. But
you're right.
Putting the past
I did feel the absence of Mr. Miyagi. That one scene where they walk into his room.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, oh okay, there's a little bit of that in there. But one of my favorite things that they do, and they do it a lot, is when they cut back to the original movies and that always for some reason draws me in. I'm like, okay, now I'm fucking locked on to what's going on because they're calling back to the movies and they're kind of mirroring it or juxtaposing it in some interesting way. And I think that's when it shines, the show.
Yeah, you're right.
I can't stand Dimitri. I want him to die.
Dimitri's kind of annoying. Yeah.
I don't know why any girl would fuck him.
Dude, he's got the hottest girlfriend too. Hawk was pretty cool, but yeah, Anthony, you said the kids kind of felt like they were sidelined a little. I guess Hawk, and they didn't really get to do much except for Kenny, who I love Kenny's arc because he goes from being the kid that was bullied to becoming the bully to then realizing he was lied to, and now what does he do? He's lost. Kind of at the end of this.
I mean, the kids all kind of had their own thing going on.
Right.
But it wasn't all that tied to the main story. The only things that really were tied to the main story from the kids were Kenny and Tori, really.
Yeah.
Sam and Miguel are off and on again, and it's getting kind of tiresome that they keep going on and off again.
They're back together at the end. Yeah.
Robbie doesn't really have anything to do this year.
Yeah.
He just kind of is there.
Yeah.
Hawk doesn't really have anything to do. This season didn't really have a lot for the kids.
even Lapusso didn't redeem himself. Lapusso just held the computer at the end.
Well, they uploaded, yes, and they protected him.
Big fucking deal. Great job.
He's
kid.
I got the Wi-Fi.
You still, they call him shithead because they fucking put his head in the toilet.
Yes.
Oh yeah. In a shitty toilet.
In a shitty toilet. That was amazing. Terry Silver's big plan is to win this international.
The Sakai
Takai International Karate Tournament.
So that's what's going to culminate. It's going to the end. Hopefully they end it. That's it. They got to end it in this big fucking televised tournament that's global. Miyagi Fang, which is what they should call it.
What should the name be? They got to come up with a combined name.
It's got to be Miyagi
Fang is a cool name.
I think someone said it. I think the fucking what's
someone
his name?
Said it, yeah.
Stingray said it. Miyagi
fucking
Fang's
Stingray comes around.
Although Stingray is kind of a character, I did like when don't interrupt him, Ron, because I know you like to fucking steal thunder. When LaRusso is about to confront these guys on the road that are about to kick his ass, Stingray pulls up in the car, opens the window, and goes, "Danny, come with me if you want to live."
What about when he puts his sunglasses on?
He's like, I always wanted to say that to someone.
Come with me if you want to live.
He's driving with the sunglasses on, and he said something. What did he say when you put you
And he's got Johnny's car, which is awesome. He's got the fucking badass.
Well, I just love when the show, as Ruggs mentioned, when they do the callbacks or they still honor the stuff in the 80s. You could tell that these writers grew up in the era, loved those films, and are still trying to incorporate that stuff. I think that's great.
The final battles are also crazy, right? Because first you had
it's too much going on.
Terry and Chosen, Terry Silver and Chosen fighting with fucking weapons, with a katana.
That was great because it was just them two, and the fight with Danny against Terry was good
Danny
too.
And Terry, and then Danny LaRusso uses the kind of the dirty tricks he learned from Terry Silver in Karate Kid 3. And then finishes with the crane kick. I was dying. We've waited 5 seasons for him to do the fucking crane kick again. And he fucking does it to Terry Silver. It was amazing. That was
hit him with that trophy, right?
Yeah, he's holding that trophy and he kicks him through the fucking shelf. But what was it where he's like, if your opponent can't see, hear...
If you can't see, you can't fight.
Yeah.
If you can't hear it, no. If you can't walk, you can't
if you can't walk, right. So then he takes his leg out. You can't walk, hear, or see, or something. But fucking got him. So, who's going to lead Cobra Kai at the end of the season? They are leaderless. Is it
Kreese?
Well, Kreese is going to come back, but Kreese is a fucking fugitive. He can't. He's got to leave the country.
Yeah, I don't know where Cobra Kai stands. I mean, Silver has a ton of money, so he might get himself out.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what they do. It's clear that they're going to make this a global thing with the Sakai Takai and ramp up the stakes with this next tournament.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what else they can pull from, or if they're just going to create new villains, which I don't mind either. I'd be down to see some international villains.
I think that Cobra Kai's dead, right?
Yeah,
Dead in the water.
Okay.
I think that Kreese isn't going to resurrect Cobra Kai. I think that his whole thing is he's going to try and fucking get Johnny back out under his spell, because he keeps talking about him like he's his son.
Yeah.
Like they never had. So he's going to try and worm his way into Johnny's life. And then that's going to cause probably the rift. And then it's going to be Danny fighting Johnny again. They're going to go back to that well for the millionth time.
Oh, you think they're going to turn that around?
Yeah.
See, what they need to do is they go into Sakai Takai, and they have a couple kids in the tournament, and there's this international Asian kid that's pretty fucking big. And he stomps out Hawk's head.
Oh, jeez.
And we have Miguel going, "Oh no!" We do it straight Bloodsport style. And we just rip off Bloodsport for this next season.
That would be great. You get a bit like a young Bolo Young type.
Yes.
Or
you could just rip off Best of the Best.
Yeah.
You got kids in the tournament.
Yeah.
Just do a Bloodsport Best of the Best. Throw a little
Combo.
Karate Kid spin on there.
I like that.
You know, Anthony, I think that you're a genius.
I like
that's amazing.
Because they're definitely, I mean, there's going to be another season.
That would fucking work.
There may be even 2 more seasons.
Because I don't know what else you could pull from Karate Kid lore.
Yeah,
unless you're going to go next
stop.
Karate Kid.
They need to
Hilary
stop.
Swank
You can't do next Karate Kid, right? That's just a horrible
It's
movie.
part of the Miyagi-verse, though. She exists in the Miyagi-verse. You bring Hilary Swank back.
I wouldn't be surprised if they brought back Hilary Swank. Who's the villain? The villain is, what's his name? He's a famous actor.
I don't even know. Oh, in that one.
He's an old
Michael Ironside.
Oh,
He's dead.
Michael Ironside.
He's dead. Fuck. Damn it.
Michael Ironside is dead.
God damn it. Why'd you have to die?
But that is Miyagi-verse.
Speaking of dead people and weird shit that they do, did you see the deep fake? And not that Johnny's dead, but that's what they would do with dead people is deep fake.
There was
that was an amazing deep fake.
When Grease was hallucinating and when he's talking to the shrink, they do a deep fake young Johnny Lawrence.
Way better than the Stallone deep fake in Samaritan.
Yes, absolutely. That looked pretty good. That
was probably a quarter of the budget.
Yeah.
It looked really good. I was like, oh my God, that's him. He looks great.
That's the thing. This show is so low budget that they could keep making this for years. Because I mean,
it's running out of steam though.
But I don't want them to, because I don't want it to be like where it becomes so bad it's unwatchable.
Yeah.
And then you're like, fuck Cobra Kai. You don't want to end with that stench on you. You want to go out on a high note.
I mean, for a Netflix show to go 5 seasons is rare.
Look what happened to Game of Thrones. Like, it just went out and everybody fucking was shitting on it.
I'm still in with Cobra Kai right now at the end of this season. I dug it. Give me more.
Should we discuss what they're doing? Because it might not be a season 6 if we're going to follow the news here.
Yes. Before we do that, I do want to mention I love Chosen revealing that he was in love with Kumiko, right, the whole time, which made me think Danny Lawrence in 2 movies stole 2 dudes' girlfriends, and that's why they hate him. And so,
but they weren't dating. He was just obsessed with her.
Yeah, but still,
the one thing I did want to see that Chosen didn't get to do. I mean, I guess having Danny LaRusso beat Silver and have his moment, because he did get his ass kicked by Silver earlier this season, and he was pretty much tormented by Silver in Karate Kid 3. I was hoping when Chosen was fighting Silver that they would beat each other to the death. He'd have him on his knees and he'd go, "Live or die, man." And Silver goes, "Die," and go, "Wrong," and honks his nose like he got in the Karate Kid Part 2. He gets to do it that time. I would have liked to see that.
Dude,
hopefully they get to do that.
Chosen held a knife to Kumiko's throat.
Karate Kid Part 2 is it gets pretty serious. He wants to kill Danny.
Yeah, he was going to kill him.
Life and death.
Yeah.
The whole tagline is, it's not a tournament. This one is this one's life or death.
And for all of them to now be like huge friends and supporters of LaRusso is crazy. Like that's fantastic. I love how they do that. I love Chosen.
I love that Chosen
great.
Wakes up every morning at like 6 a.m. and swims in the pool naked.
Now let's talk about this aside from the show. Just has there ever been in your life a person that you were enemies with?
Yes, when you were younger.
That you have somehow reconciled to the point and put it past you and moved on.
I mean, it's a realistic thing where like you meet your bully years later and you.
Like, do you think think that happens?
I think it happens. I think it happens because they're kids.
I don't know if people get that many opportunities to meet their enemy again.
Right.
That's the thing.
I'm trying to think now, but I could see. I mean, I could see it's realistic. I can actually see because they were kids when this happened, and now, you have a whole life, and now you have mutual respect.
It's happened to me a few times,
really.
Actually. Yeah, but you have to be. I think that you have to be in the right place to do it.
Yeah,
and you have to have like, if you're. The thing is, it's like if you hang on to those things all the time. Like it kind of like poisons your life in a bad way.
It will eat away at you. Yeah.
Like, it's just weird. Like, because there's sometimes through a twist of fate, someone that you think that you'll never see again somehow gets fucking put right back into your life.
Right.
And you got to fucking deal with it.
Well, it's like crazy. This whole show, this season was that. It was like Daniel trying to come to grips with all his bullies and past, and the bullies coming to grips with everything, and like that was the theme of the whole season, which is great.
What about the nation? Do you have you guys experienced this? I'd like to hear.
Yes, have you ever made friends with your childhood bully as an adult? I want to hear these stories. So, related news, talking about the future of this franchise. This story just came out that Sony, who owns, I guess, the Cobra Kai I mean, the Karate Kid franchise, right? The Sony stuff. They have just, I guess, 5 years after this show becomes hot to take advantage of the momentum, they have set a Karate Kid movie.
Way to
for
go.
Summer of 2024.
Oh, shit.
There's not a lot of information about it aside from them saying it is the return to the original Karate Kid franchise. However, the creators of Cobra Kai have said, it's John Horowitz has confirmed that he knows nothing about this, and as far as he knows, it is not connected to what they're doing. So
they did this with Will Smith's kid.
Yeah, it's not, but they said it's not a reboot. It is going back to the original. If it's in the Miyagi verse, I don't know if this is, what movie are you making? I don't know if this is a good idea. Like, what you're gonna?
Yeah, that seems like a very stupid idea.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
to
smart.
make a movie and not take advantage of the fact that this brand is hot, and to not include those characters. That
how
just
do you
seems
possibly
so
do it? Unless I don't really understand how you do
unless
it.
Unless you completely ignore the last 6-7 years of what got the fans back into Karate Kid. That just seems idiotic.
I saw one thing somewhere. I couldn't find the story. Somebody mentioned that could it be like a split timeline in the Miyagi verse, and that's how you can keep it separate from Cobra Kai. But that's dumb. You want William Zabka, you want Johnny Lawrence, you want Ralph Macchio back in it. If you're doing a Miyagi verse sequel, or I don't know. So
I mean,
Sony,
if you do a prequel and if you do Mr. Miyagi's story,
that's a good one. Yes, you could.
They're
do
not
that.
You do that. That's too smart.
You could
for them to do
a young Miyagi story.
It would be like it would be centered on his father and Sato and that whole thing that we never got to see.
Yeah,
that'd be good. But I didn't see this second article that you posted about it not getting connected. Now I'm like, why would you do this?
I don't know why. How would you reserve?
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it
But
doesn't.
do you want to fuck with Miyagi though? Like he's like the best character ever. You want to fuck with his, do you want to take a chance at being the person that fucks up his origin? I don't know. That's a tough one.
They also, when they announced this, they pushed back Kraven the Hunter by 7 months. It was going to come out this January and is now coming out next October. And they pushed back Madam Web to 2024.
Well, if this is true, then this pretty much seals the deal that there is going to be a Karate Kid or Cobra Kai season 6.
There is going to be a season 6. I think absolutely. And I think they have plans for even more, but there's definitely another.
They got to stop at 6. That's it. They got to. Please stop at the next one. You teed it up. We got the fucking big Kumite coming.
Yeah, we got Kumite.
We got Kreese back. Just fucking let's tie it up before fucking Danny is like decrepit and he can't even walk.
Dude,
and then
Ralph
fucking
Macchio still looks great though for his age. Somehow this dude
60
doesn't age at all. He ages like Tom Cruise.
Right.
Jesus.
I wouldn't say he doesn't age.
Well,
he looks considerably older.
He looks older, but he's
kid.
still in fairly very similar shape. But he was babyface. Maybe not. Okay, he's old.
He's not.
Isn't Johnny 62 or is he
Johnny's
younger
in good shape?
Johnny looks good.
I think Johnny's a little younger. I think maybe he's in his 50s.
How about penis breath out of nowhere, just being a fucking traitor at the end?
Yeah, that was
kind of shoehorned in.
And then they call him Penis Breath too. Like he's still getting called Penis Breath.
He's like, stop calling me penis breath. I didn't see that coming, but I was like, all right, whatever. They need a reason to get the fucking fight going at the dojo, so it's a good. It's a good reason. Why not? No, but I love how it ended. I love the fucking fights.
Let's fucking rate this shit. We fucking talked about it.
Rate it, rank it, I guess, against
think.
the other seasons, if you can remember.
I can't remember the other seasons. I only remember the finales.
Yes.
I'll say, without having rewatched every season, which I'm not going to do.
Yeah.
I would say this one was ranked last for me.
Oh, okay.
But that doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
I still think it's a 7 out of 10 season.
Okay.
But I'm with Ruggs. I think the way they left it, you obviously have to do one more season at least.
Yeah.
But I think they are running out of steam. I think you could probably pull from Next Karate Kid just because that's the last one in the universe that they haven't pulled from. But I would like to see them start to try to wrap this up. And I'm very disappointed that they're going to make a movie, make a movie off the back of this fucking series, but not include this, not have anything to do with this series. That just makes no sense to me.
It's Sony. Are you surprised?
Yeah, I guess not.
They made more.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
I don't know what they do. Okay, so 7 out of 10 for you. Okay. Ruggs, what about you?
Yeah.
I pretty much agree with Anthony. If it's not the least favorite, it's tied for the least favorite season with the one before it. I mean, look, it's, as I said, it's Cobra Kai. It's fun to watch. It's definitely easy to watch. You have a great time watching it, but you do start to see that, like, there's a lot of characters. There's so many characters, and they spend so much time bouncing around, and then people flipping back and forth. It's like starting to feel like a telenovela or something. It's like
it absolutely is, though.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, like, let's like go out with dignity, because there are some moments in this that, you know, even in this season that got me into the feels at some points when they were, but those moments are few and far between. And there's a lot of me groaning going, who's writing this? Like, are they fucking slipping a little bit? Like, why are they doing this? But, I still enjoyed it. I'm going to say it's 7 as well. And, that's what I think. I think it's definitely worth a watch, and they got to end it next season, and that's it. Like, I'm giving you one more season, like, before you start tarnishing what you've made, this great thing that you've made.
I mean, I still, like, I'm smiling the whole time I watch it, and it makes me go, oh shit, at great moments. Chosen was just fantastic this season. And I agree. We didn't get an All Valley tournament fight, but if you end it next season with like an international tournament, that's a great place to end it. I liked it about the same as last season, which I can't remember, but I'll give it a 7.5. It's about as good as last season. Terry Silver is great. His manipulation is great.
Yeah, Terry Silver and Chosen are the MVPs.
Absolutely.
Like, they really fucking carried this. And
then Mike Barnes, I did enjoy Mike fucking Barnes coming back.
They didn't use him enough. He got knocked out for like the whole entire thing.
That's what I thought too. I was like, why use him more?
They should have used him more. He was fucking.
He's the bad boy of karate more.
I want him to start a dojo next season because he's got nothing now and he's pissed. And maybe
I love the line where LaRusso's something along the lines of, "We're drunk," and by the look in Barnes' eyes, he's on something else.
Yes, I don't know what he was.
You guys are all heading over, and they're all like, "Yeah, we're gonna head over in this stretch Hummer to Silver's house and break in."
One actually smart thing that they did is that they had Barnes steal a Rembrandt.
Oh yeah,
and that Rembrandt is actually missing.
Yes, that is that Rembrandt was stolen and it's never been recovered.
Yeah, so that's the one that he had.
Great.
So that's kind of like a nice little Easter egg there.
Terry Silver stole it. So if Mike Barnes needs money, he can possibly fence that Rembrandt.
If he pawns it for cheap, he can get like $500,000.
Yeah, he'll be set. So he's got some money. Terry can pay for good lawyers. He could be out like at the beginning of next season. What is Kreese going to do?
What's interesting about Silver's character is that actor is about the same age as LaRusso.
Yeah.
But he's supposed to be a comrade to Kreese.
Yeah.
And Kreese's character is like 18 older, in real life, about 18 to 20 years older than those guys.
Oh, my God.
So Silver's trying to age himself up to look like Kreese, even though he's about the same age as Lawrence, LaRusso, and Chosen in real life.
The white hair does it. He looks...
It's the white hair.
Yeah, he looks older. He looks Kreese's age. But
I mean, it is a feat to try and shoot these old bastards doing karate.
Like a karate and make it look
good. They're doing everything they can.
They're doing every trick in the book.
Yeah, they are.
Shot from the back.
I mean, you knew they were doing every trick in the book when they cut to Kreese's fighting in jail and they cut to a version of him as a younger guy fighting.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
they're like, we have to figure out how to do this.
They're like, he's 78 years old. He's probably should be in a wheelchair, so we can't have him throw a roundhouse kick anymore.
He beat up that big dude who just became his bitch and made him jello. I was like, really? Okay. Wow. Kreese is badass, I guess.
Yeah, he becomes the kingpin in jail.
Yeah, it's great. And I love how he's like telling Tori what to do, and then she flips and he tells her not to do it anymore, whatever. But she's like his undercover. A lot of great undercover things going on. And even though Terry paid off that ref in that last fight, Sam like beat her with precision kicks. So clean.
That was cool. I like that.
She had to win it clean that he couldn't say anything. And she gets it done. So both teams are going to the Sekai Takai. Cobra Kai has no leader. Maybe there's other dojos that get involved. Bring on season 6, 7, 8. I'm in so far. You can do more.
6, 7, 8.
But
wow.
if they end it next season, I wouldn't be mad.
Oh, come on, Emma.
But right now, unlike like Stranger Things, I was like, okay, you got to fucking end it.
As Johnny would say, you got to leave well enough alone.
This season
right?
was
you didn't want to leave well enough alone.
It was the most soap opera-y to me, I think, this season out of all of them. So you can see that.
It's always been pretty melodramatic, to be honest.
But like I really noticed it this season when I didn't really notice it before.
It was starting to wear out its welcome.
There was a lot of times where I laughed out loud because the way they were handling these, they were treating things so seriously that weren't very serious at all. I had to laugh all the time.
And, I mean, I love how Amanda is the voice of the viewer, where she's like, I thought this shit was done. All of this just over karate. Come on. What are you guys doing? Which is what everybody's thinking. But now she's on Danny. She got turned to Daniel's side too. When she,
everyone's team Miyagi.
Yeah. Oh, they're all on one side. Everybody. And I mean, that moment when they took the Cobra Kai took their shirts off and threw them on Terry. And I was like, oh, fuck, it's done. Cobra Kai's done. It's dead. They got him. They got him. Good stuff. Okay. Let's do some news from the nation. Find out what our listeners thought of the season. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Lovely resonance today, Ruggs, on that.
It's all about the bass, my friends.
Yeah, that was like a low B, I think. B
That's
flat
right.
over A. I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta squat in a different position.
It's all about the acoustics. Yes. Justin Zwerner just comments, Mike fucking Barnes, which is, I mean, that's what Danny said, which is great. He goes, Mike fucking Barnes. Jimmy Shia says, wasn't expecting the Olive Garden commercial or an appearance by Teen Witch. Yes, Teen Witch. John Bellotti Jr., best season so far. It was like Karate Kid Infinity War. Yes.
Whoa.
It's fucking awesome.
Big praise
Yeah.
from Blah.
That's really good.
Yeah, he loved it. He loves the Cobra Kai. Jose Ibarra says, I'm only a few episodes in. On paper, a furniture store being burned down over some karate dojos seems like the dumbest, most ridiculous thing ever. In this show, however, it's so amazingly over the top. I fucking loved it.
I fucking loved it.
He's absolutely right. And then Nick Shev says, Chosen still cracking jokes while suffering a katana gash to the back, and the redemption of the one and only Stingray made this season finale one to remember. God damn, this show is so great. People love this show. It is. I don't know. It's again, we've said it.
They enjoyed it. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, everybody enjoyed it.
They also enjoyed it.
We said it before. It's better than it has any right to be, and I love it.
It's easy to watch. It's one of those. It's one of those you throw it on.
It's a good time. It's all.
You throw it on, and the episode ends, and you go, I could do another 30 minutes.
Yeah, you're like, oh, bring it on.
Yeah, you'll actually. Yeah, it's very bingeable.
I just hope people take the lesson of, like, if you want to bring back an old fucking thing, this is how you do it. Top Gun Maverick is how you do it. Cobra Kai is how you do it. Not some of the other examples we have been given. Follow this. Okay. All right. Well, look, let's finish up with some what are we watching?
Right.
We are up to, here's some spoilers for everything.
Spoiler alert.
We're up to episode 5 of She-Hulk, I think. It's exactly in the middle. 5 of 9. You guys watch this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really not really much to talk about.
Yeah, I don't think we really even need to discuss it, to be honest.
No, I mean,
what even happened? I forgot.
Well, I did like the idea.
She got clothes.
She got clothes, and she was being sued.
And they teased Daredevil at the end.
Yes, that was it. That was the big tease. You saw his helmet from the guy.
She got her name.
She was being sued for using the word named She-Hulk. Titania had trademarked it. It's kind of clever that she would go and do this move, but then she got her name back by humiliating herself with her dates. That dude who plays the tailor, though, he's on the flight attendant on HBO Max. I like that guy.
For some reason, I thought he was the guy that played Urkel.
No, that is not Jaleel White.
Oh.
Anthony, this is a different dude. I've seen him on other things. But yeah, the biggest thing at the end is you get a brief glimpse of Daredevil's yellow helmet. I do have an issue with them bringing this yellow suit back, because remember, Anthony, when we talked to your favorite person many years ago?
Yeah.
Remember J.D. Spurlock, who is he is the he runs the estate of Wally Wood, the artist.
One of the best shows we've ever done.
It's an amazing
Go back and
show.
check it out.
Go back. It's like in the early. It's like below 100. I forget what it is.
And by best, I mean one of the worst shows we've ever done.
But J.D. Spurlock told us Wally Wood came on and single-handedly he saw that Daredevil was wearing a yellow costume, and he was like, "This is the man without fear. Why would he be wearing yellow?" And didn't ask Stanley. Just made a red costume, redesigned it without telling anyone, and changes Daredevil forever. And those Wally Wood issues are some of the best issues. So that always stuck with me. And it's funny they're bringing back the yellow suit because, yes, yellow is the color of fear. Why would you put the man without fear in the color of fear?
I don't know.
That's my only.
Is yellow the color of fear?
Yes, yellow traditionally, yellow belly. You say someone's yellow belly.
Oh, that's right.
It's traditionally the color of fear.
I didn't have a problem. I don't have a problem with the yellow costume coming back. I'm not going to make a big fuss about this, but it's very silly that Daredevil would have his costume made by this guy.
Well, they had a dude in the Daredevil Netflix show. Remember that guy who was actually
that guy was working for the Kingpin,
right?
And was making him
Kevlar suits or something.
Kevlar suits, yeah. That one kind of made more sense. This is just like a random fashion.
They're taking everything in the Marvel universe and making it stupid.
Apparently, this guy though
is kind of stupid.
He's known for making superhero costumes for superheroes.
Like She-Hulk walks in, and he's like, "Who are you?
Yeah.
You're not famous enough." I'm like, "Shut the fuck
All
up!"
over the fucking internet.
Are you kidding me? Like, what are you doing? Who are you making suits for? Fucking all the heroes are fucking done, and they already have their suits already. So who's making suits for? Nobody.
There was one interesting thing. I love the credits of the show because if you start to watch the credits, you realize the story kind of continues in the drawn credits of the show, and you get additional moments of these characters, and it's great. It's a great idea. They change parts of it every episode. This one, the internet picked up on this thing. There's a drawing of the lawyer with his Iron Man 3s. That dude, remember, he's like, I'm gonna get the Iron Man 3s. So he's standing there with Ginger, and he's got a shoe collection apparently of Marvel superhero themed shoes behind him. These are loose watercolor drawings, but not only do you see our standard MCU themed shoes, you see a shoe for the Thing from the Fantastic Four. For Deadpool, there's a Cyclops shoe. And so everyone is like, oh my God, they're announcing all this stuff. It's happening. But obviously it's just a little fun background Easter egg joke, but I kind of dig that they threw that in to drive people crazy.
Mm. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this one, Larry.
No, it was kind of
this was
like
kind of a throwaway episode.
Yeah, I think we will see Daredevil in the next episode,
I think
clearly.
I think if you grew up and you're into Titania, which not many people are, it's like the worst version of Titania they could have done.
Yeah, there's a different version of Titania where
sucks.
She's selling makeup.
Yeah,
it looks like shitty makeup. I
don't know. The show is like, I don't hate the show, but I'm always flabbergasted to how much stupidity they have in it, and how it's not. I mean, I understand it's a comedy and whatever, but I just feel like it just doesn't fit with trying to, like, if it was its own thing and it wasn't trying to bridge the gap into the other universes and stuff like that, it'd be okay. But like the fact that it exists in the universe is so weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
I really liked the show at first. Now it's not that I don't like it. Similar to Ruggs, but I mean, this episode especially is just entirely forgettable.
A little bit, yeah.
And I don't
feel like
really
everybody
know what's
changes
going.
personality. It's like at first you think that Jen Walters is this very capable person, and then she's like fucking this abject loser, like that can't get anything done, or like is whatever, can't dress herself now, like. She's so fucking, like, are you serious? Like, I don't know. I'm supposed to believe all this stuff. She doesn't know how to dress. She doesn't know how to do this. She doesn't know anything. Has no fashion sense. I'm like, no. I'm like, well, okay, whatever. I don't get it.
I like kind of some of the behind the scenes photos that they put out of Tatiana Maslany, because of the one where she's twerking with Megan Thee Stallion. You see her, she's got this whole mocap suit on and these cameras coming off her head. And they have these platforms they've set up that she walks on. So the sight lines line up. So everyone is looking at her doing the performance, and then they just put that in She-Hulk somehow.
Yeah,
it's fun.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. It's her. She's there. Okay, what about House of the Dragon? Where is everybody on this one?
I'm caught up.
Sucking good.
Caught up. Everybody's caught up. All right, we are at the halfway point already of this show. I think there's 5 episodes, right? And apparently. This is the last time we are going to see young Rhaenyra and Alicent.
I'm sad about that.
As those actors. Yes, me too, because I love the girl Millie Alcock playing Rhaenyra. She's great. And Alicent, they're both good. So the next episode, I believe, jumps ahead 10 years or more, and there's
I don't know why they can't just keep them there, but
they've recast them with older actors. This last episode had a wedding, and if you watch Game of Thrones, you should be nervous when there's a wedding. And it wasn't as bad as the Red Wedding.
It wasn't good.
But it wasn't good either. Shit definitely went down.
So can we talk about this moment here? Spoiler alert.
Yes.
Because the whole thing, the whole linchpin of it. So, there's a wedding. She agrees to marry this dude. He's her father.
Valerian, yeah.
Turns out this dude's into dudes, and that it's like a marriage of just convenience, and they're going to be able to do whatever they want, on their own with fuck whoever they want. But the monkey wrench gets thrown in when what's his name? The bad guy, Matt Smith. Damon shows up.
What exactly happened to start this scuffle?
I think that Sir Kristen saw Damon
all up on her,
and they all kind of like both of them, the guy that's supposed to be marrying her and Sir Kristen all go jump in. They're like, what the fuck? This is a disgrace. And a fight breaks out, and then I don't know. Sir Kristen ends up beating up the
Lanor's boyfriend.
I interpreted it differently. I took it as Sir Kristen was pissed off that Lanor's boyfriend knew.
Oh, because he
and
told
was
her,
using that as like kind of making fun of him.
Yeah, yeah,
and saying we both now have to protect them with their lives. And Sir Kristen already was embarrassed because he had proposed to Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
Let's just run off, and she said no.
Yeah.
So that kind of he was already pissed off being there, and then that kind of triggered him, and he lost his cool. I don't think it had anything to do with Daemon and Rhaenyra.
So you don't think Daemon it seemed organic, or did Daemon orchestrate this to cause issues?
No, I don't think it's that.
It just happened at the same
Crime
time.
of passion, almost.
That's what I think. Yeah, I think it was just coincidence of when it happened.
Because
that's the way I interpret it. I don't know if it's true or not.
Sir Kristen Cole's like, oh, you want me to be your whore? I see. Which I was like, that's not a bad gig. What's the problem with that? Look at this girl. But he fucking caves that dude's face in, and then the next scene is them getting married, and Laenor is just sobbing as he's like, I do, crying about it. And then the fucking father collapses.
And then Sir Kristen tries to kill himself.
Oh, yes, but Alicent stops him because she knew.
Right.
She knew what was going on.
There's a wedge now definitely between those two actresses. Those two characters.
Yes, the whole scene where they're at the wedding and she interrupts, the King Viserys' speech and comes in as green, and they're like, that's the color of war.
She's upset that she lied to her.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. About what
I don't
happened.
know why she's so butthurt about it. Like, what does it matter to her that she's, who she fucks? It doesn't really.
But that got her father fired also.
Yeah, got her father fired. Like, the whole thing got her father fired. And
then he told her, he got into her head. He's like, if he dies and Rhaenyra is queen, there's going to be a war. Your son is going to be on the front lines. Do you want that? He's like,
well, that makes more sense.
So he's like, whatever you do, you got to get Aegon to be heir. So I think we're going to meet like the grown up, like Aegon Targaryen.
So what's the strategy here? Interrupting the wedding.
I think she's just showing that she's not fully supportive of this.
Mm-hmm.
And that she's not necessarily going to be Rhaenyra's ally anymore, because I think the game she was trying to not even play, she was just basing her whole entire relationship with her on their friendship.
Yeah.
And she was figuring, well, if I'm just friends with Rhaenyra, even if, like, she didn't intend, she doesn't really, it doesn't seem like she has any ambition for Aegon to be the king.
Uh-huh.
But if she's like, if I'm friends with Rhaenyra, then we'll be safe. Like, well, we're still friends.
Right.
So it's not like, but Rhaenyra,
lying to her.
Well, yeah, she's lying to her. So that's already a big thing in their friendship. And her dad throws into her head that, Rhaenyra is going to feel threatened by Aegon, and now Aegon's going to be, his head is on the line.
Yeah, so she got to look out for her kid.
She's got to protect her kid.
Yeah, she got to look out for her kid.
They never established that she even gives a shit about her kid. So that's the part that like kind of lost me there. But yeah, okay, I can see that.
The only thing that was a little haphazard, besides, well, first off, I think her walking in with the green dress, I needed to hear like more. They needed to build that up more as like her outfits being something.
Yeah.
Because when she first walks in, I'm just going, oh,
there's one line.
She's wearing a green dress.
Yeah, there's one line.
But they throw the line in there. Like, I think they could have built up more.
Yeah.
But I think even though it makes the plot more interesting for sure, Sir Kristen confessing to her based on the fact that they had a miscommunication and she was really talking about Daemon, I was like, oh, this is a little there's a little there's a little ham-fisted. She wouldn't have been so ambiguous about asking Sir Kristen if Rhaenyra's fucking Daemon.
Right. She didn't even,
the way they set it up is like, oh, it's she thinks he thinks she's talking about him banging Rhaenyra, but she's really referring to Daemon, and it's just this big miscommunication. But I thought that was a little.
Yeah.
She does keep a lot of things. She's very manipulative, that Allison. It's like she keeps things from people.
See, I don't see that. I don't think she's very manipulative. She's not, I don't think she was doing it like that.
It was just a misunderstanding.
Yeah, I think she's legitimately this whole time up until that wedding been actually a very pure character, and now she's realizing because she's married and in the game that this is a fucking Game of Thrones.
I love how everybody's been playing this game from like the first episode, right? Like the fucking game is on.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think the kids have been playing the game. I think they've just been acting like kids.
Yeah, now they're going to be playing.
And they're getting caught up in the game.
Because I don't think.
So how do you think this is going to pan out?
I don't think Viserys dies right away.
I don't know. That's the thing. I haven't read any spoilers, so I'm legitimately. I don't know how it's going to play out, which is why I kind of.
You say there's one more episode before the time
next
jump?
Episode is going to be like a 10-year.
So he's going to be dead. He's going to be dead.
We'll see. I may have.
They jumped 10 years. There's no way this fucking leper is going to be alive.
I may have watched the promo and saw Viserys still in there. So I don't.
Maybe it's a flashback.
Maybe it's a flashback. That's true. But he looks like he was coughing up blood. That dude was not doing well. He's pale.
I have to admit, after I am sad that I mentioned that Millie Alcock and the other actress are going away. And I have to admit, not this episode, but the prior episode, when Rhaenyra and Daemon are about to do the Targaryen thing and get a little incestual, I had to go online and look up how old Millie Alcock was.
How old is she?
22.
Okay.
To not feel bad about the fact that I was oddly attracted to her in that moment.
I mean, that was like a sexy.
I was like, oh my God, I kind of like this.
It
and
was
I don't like
sexy episode because he gets what a power move Daemon does on her, right? He gets her all hot and bothered, and he makes her take off her mask so everybody sees them, and then he just fucking walks away, and she's all hot and bothered, and she goes fucks Sir Kristen Cole. But I was like, why did he just walk away? But now when I think about it, I was like, that was a fucking power move. And again,
he wants her back.
Yeah, and
he wants to marry her.
And she threatens him in this episode. She's like, "Just take me to Dragonstone and make me your wife. Why don't you do that?" Like
they have
in front of everyone.
Relationship.
Yes, they do. It's very strange.
It's typical Targaryen.
Matt Smith is fucking stellar in this. Daemon, I mean, in that one episode where he took out the Crab King, like he didn't say a word. And he was badass. Like every time he shows up, I'm like, what's he gonna do? He's
a great bad guy.
Kills his fucking wife right in the beginning. Makes it look like an accident to clear the way.
Well, the thing is, like, he's a bad guy, but he's like, I can kind of follow his motivation.
Yeah.
I can't necessarily follow the fact that he wants to bang his niece. But,
is he the hero in his own story?
Yeah, he is. He reminds me a lot of Jaime.
Yeah,
in terms of he's the hero in his own story.
Jaime Lannister,
he's the younger brother that was passed over. He's never been, he could never be the king, and he's been passed over in terms of for a girl.
Yeah,
like that's never happened in Westeros.
Yeah,
he's passed over for the girl. He's kind of into the girl too, which is kind of weird.
Yeah,
so it's just like there's a lot of things going on.
He wants the power also.
He was also pawned off to be married and forced into a marriage just because of royal alliances.
Yeah.
Like he's never really had a say in his own life.
Yeah. He's a great character. I love David Targaryen. He's fucking phenomenal.
Great.
He's great. So yeah, the time jumps.
Then he's flirting with the little young black girl.
Laena's sister. The
guy. What are they called?
Valerians.
Yeah.
The Corleys.
So he's setting up a side power move. Where maybe I'll marry the sister and then I'll be in. But yeah, the Valerians and Targaryens. Also, that was an interesting conversation about like, if they have a baby, can we name him Valerian? And the king is like, yes, but then when he's the king, it's going to be Targaryen. And they're like, okay, that's fine.
That's a worthy compromise.
Yes, that's cool.
I haven't read any spoilers, but I felt like Game of Thrones never had a female, queen.
Yeah.
Ruler, up until Daenerys, or Cersei and then Daenerys, So I feel like we kind of know that what's going to happen, but I'm still like, they just wed old leper dude. Viserys might croak.
Yeah,
where are we at here?
She's going to be queen.
I don't know what's going to happen. House of Drama, though. There's tons of drama, and I like it.
Here's funny. We actually do know what's going to happen. This is something funny. Joffrey, if you go back.
Are you going to fucking say it?
I'm not going to say it. I forgot what it is. But
okay, good.
Joffrey, in a season 3 episode, lays out what happens to the Targaryens and Rhaenyra in one line, essentially spoiling what's going to happen. And I did go and read it, and I forgot what it was. But technically,
I did read that. Yeah,
it's been spoiled. Like they already, but will they follow that? Will they? They may not. I don't know. But I'm excited to see these kids grow up, and the 10-year time jump is going to be fucking interesting to see where everything is.
Yeah, I mean, this is chronicling the what I think they call it the Dance of the Dragons.
Dance of the Dragons, yes.
Where the Targaryen dynasty starts to fall apart. So they've been zooming. It's not supposed to be as slow paced, obviously, as Game of Thrones was.
Right, flying by. And the other thing that's confusing is there's a lot of characters named Aegon Targaryen in Game of Thrones, like several, from different generations. So, because wasn't Jon Snow's name Aegon also, technically? Doesn't he go, I'm Aegon Targaryen? Wasn't that his name?
He is. He was Aegon.
Yeah, everyone's fucking Aegon. They just name all their kids Aegon. Okay, whatever. And then one other thing I just want to mention real quick, Ruggs, you caught up the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
Yeah, I'm caught up.
What do you think so far? Still digging it?
Yeah, I think it's nowhere near as gripping as Game of Thrones, but as I said, it's a different show. And I do enjoy it. It is a little bit harder to get through. I feel like more times where I'm like, okay, let's get this scene over with, but like it's still beautiful to look at. It has high production value. The story at this point is they're slowly like revealing. They just revealed the bad guy, Adar, whatever his name is.
The orcs. Yeah, the guy who leads the orcs.
Yeah, and they say, now you know that. We don't know if he's Sauron or if this fucking guy that looks like, Saruman. Saruman. You talk about the guy who fell from the sky is either, he could be Saruman.
Yeah.
We don't know, but, there's still like an air of mystery to it. And there's still like things that are, the makeup is amazing.
Yeah.
Like these fucking orcs look great. Like everything looks great on the show.
So,
like everything.
You know what's funny is like the show full of fucking fantasy elves and monsters. I can relate to a group of these, especially last episode. I was like, oh, I can relate to this. You know what it is? It's the fact that the orcs can't go into the sun and they have to stay in the shade. Otherwise they'll burn. I was like, oh, I know exactly where you're coming from, orcs. Every time I'm outside, I'm like, oh, this is great. Where's the shade? I'm just going to stand in it.
They didn't really get into Numenor that much.
Yeah.
Like, even though they were there for a while, like, they don't even talk about how people on Numenor are different than regular humans.
Oh, they are.
They age slower.
No, I didn't know that.
They basically, like, the elves are kind of like immortal, right?
Yeah.
They can they could die, but they usually they can live as long as they don't get killed.
Years, yeah.
And when the elves and the humans built Numenor, that the humans that stay with them for some reason got the blessing of the Valar, and they could like live long lives and stuff like that.
Oh, they did not explain that.
No, they didn't get into that, so I don't know why they didn't mention that. But anyway,
it's a lot of names and things and places. So I'm hanging in there. It's good, and I relate to the orcs. Stay out of the sun. It's not good for you people. There's nothing good. Anthony,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask Anthony if he watched anything else that was of note.
No, because I was on Cobra Kai duty, and I binged it in a week for the fans here.
Oh, well, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Ruggs, you watched some more things that I watched also.
Yeah, you watched Licorice Pizza?
No, not that one. I haven't watched that.
Oh, that's an Oscar nominated movie.
Who's in that one?
Yeah.
That's with
That's one of the girls from Haim.
No, Paul Thomas Anderson directed that.
Oh, it's PTA and one of the girls from Haim, that band.
One of the girls from Haim and the son of what's that famous actor guy that was
Cooper Hoffman is
Philip Seymour Hoffman's son.
Oh.
How was the movie? I'm curious.
What's it about?
I weirdly enjoyed it. It was a fucking weird ass movie, but that's what he does. He makes weird ass movies. I think it takes place in the 70s, and it's just like this weird, like this older woman goes to like the school because she's like she works for the photographers doing class pictures, and this kid who's like a child actor, like, you know, a 2-bit child actor, he's like he does things, whatever, but he's got this like overblown sense of confidence, and he like thinks he's gonna get this girl, and because this girl is kind of like a nobody and just working like this stupid job, she like finds him interesting. He's like, oh, he's a young actor. He's like got things going on. So they start like hanging out, and it's just like a weird, like he wants to fuck her, but she's just like, she's too young for him, but she still like leads him on, and they start like getting, you know, doing stuff together, like getting into business together and stuff. And it's very like, I don't know. It was kind of spellbinding in a way, but with fun. I don't know if Anthony would love it, but I think it's, or you know, I enjoyed it. I'm
not a huge PTA guy.
So it was. I enjoyed it. So I think if anybody hasn't seen it yet, I think it's on Amazon. Check it out.
Sean Penn and Tom Waits also in this.
Yeah, received 3 nominations: Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. It's I don't know why they call it Licorice Pizza. There's no reference to Licorice Pizza at all. It has to do with some kind of 70s thing. I don't know.
I like PTA movies. I mean, we talked about Magnolia, and he did Boogie Nights, and like he definitely has a style.
It's indulgent. Drunk Love. It's an indulgent film.
There Will Be Blood's a good movie. I really
There Will
like
Be
that.
Blood.
I did not like Magnolia.
The Master. You didn't like Magnolia?
No.
Respect.
We talked about it on the show.
The cock. Yeah, Tom Cruise. Come on, Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta watch Boogie Nights. I've never seen it.
Boogie Nights is pretty good. I don't know if you.
Yeah, check that
one out.
Might not
like Paul Thomas Anderson movies then overall, but
he's got his own thing.
I think they're good. You know, every once in a while, throw one on. Yeah. It's a different experience. It's not like it's an acquired taste, you know, but I think it's good. I think there's definitely artistry going on for sure. Then the next thing is when we talk about artistry. I don't know how to say this guy's name. Is it Genndy Tartakovsky?
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Genndy Tartakovsky's Primal.
The TV show?
It's a TV show. It's fucking amazing.
Okay, so just if you haven't seen it, I might have brought it up in the past, but I'm going to say it again. Yes. It's a show. It's a cartoon about a fucking I guess not a barbarian. A Neanderthal and a dinosaur who become friends. And like because out of really fucked up circumstances, they end up like sticking together, and they fuck shit up everywhere they go. Every time that someone fucks with them, they go fucking ham and they rip them apart. It's great. And it kind of takes a turn where they run upon this girl, and she changes the dynamic and the thrust of the whole show. And this was like, I guess, the finale.
They really closed out in the second season the story of Fang and Spear, which is the name of the dinosaur and the Neanderthal. The other thing is there is no dialogue in this show.
No,
it is all done with.
There is now, but
there's words, but it's all amazing visual storytelling through expressions and
all
animation.
It is like grunts and animal sounds and like sounds of people screaming and in fucking pain. That's all it is.
Samurai Jack and a couple other things. It is gorgeous. The animation is beautiful, hand drawn, 2D, and the story of where this ended is wild. Maybe they'll come back and bring his kids. I know if he moves on, he wants to make like an anthology series, but he definitely closed out the story of Spear.
My one criticism is they did that story, and I think Nick Sheff mentioned this, so I want to give him props, but I was also thinking the same things. They did this one episode where they went into the future and like a bunch of like philosophers talking about the nature of man,
about being primal.
And so they broke the whole like no talking thing. Yeah. And then they wasted episode on this. We don't need to see that. Like nobody gives a shit about that. It was interesting to watch in its own way.
That was really
but, like,
weird.
I would rather have had another episode of Spear because that seems so rushed, that ending. Yeah.
Well, you had that dude Vidar, the Viking guy that was hunting them, but then the whole Colossus 3-part fucking thing
that ended too abruptly.
Oh, but them finding them this giant boat that's a palace that's led by this Egyptian warlord queen, and then they get sucked into just going around and rampaging people and killing everyone for them. They finally escape from them, and
there's a lot about slavery and being enslaved.
Yes, back then, yeah,
and how you just take people and force them to do whatever you want. And find something that you want.
It's so bloody. It's so violent. They show everything, and when Fang eats people, it's great. It's such a great show. It's such a great cartoon.
Yeah. I turned the last episode on, and it said, you know how they give you the warning, the trigger warning of what you're going to see is that sexual situations. I'm like, is Spear gonna fuck in this?
Oh my god! Yes, that was amazing.
And it's the most fucking disturbing sex scene that you could ever imagine.
I was like, is this happening? What is happening?
Oh wow!
But that's the way to keep the story going in a way.
I mean, that's Primal. I'll tell you that.
Highly recommended, dude. It is just fucking.
I think it's
gorgeous.
I can't wait for him to come out with something else.
Yeah, Genndy Tartakovsky's all of his stuff is really good.
I love Symbiotic Titan. Yeah. I love Samurai Jack. I love all this stuff. Even the Powerpuff Girls. They were great.
And the fact that it's hand-drawn 2D.
Did he do Powerpuff? I'm not sure.
He might. I don't know. No, check out Primal. It's on HBO Max. You can watch.
He did Dexter's Laboratory. That's
right. You can check it out on HBO Max. It is fantastic. Yeah. I also love the Primal. Okay. All right. That's it for this week. Watch and/or listener. We'll be reviewing the 3-episode, much to Anthony's chagrin. We will be reviewing the 3-episode premiere next week. Maybe it's good. Who knows? We'll find out. Rugs, where can the listener find you online?
At Really Rug Boy on Twitter. Come by, say hello, follow me.
You can find all that stuff at our website, jockandnerd.com, in the show notes, show description for this episode. Please share the show, tweet it, text it, post it, spread the word, Jock and Nerd.
Jock and Nerd.
Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you next time. That's the wrong button. God, I'm fucking up.
Jeez.
I really don't give a shit.
I'm fucking up left and right.
You don't. You really don't. Run up this
I
show.
stick it up my asshole.
What are we doing?
Whoa. Whoa.
I'm the one that's inebriated. Not funny.
Jock and Nerd.